Hi everyone, Marianne Cowan here from Pinery Paper Crafts. It's Monday and it's March the 1st. Hard to believe, but it really is. All right, so welcome to my Facebook Live. I come live every day at 3 o'clock during the week. And, oh, just a sec. I was wondering why this was all weird. I had my camera stand. All right, we're good to go. I come live on Monday to Friday at 3 and Sundays at 7. When the weather gets nicer, I'll probably not come live quite that often because I'll be out in my garden. But that's a ways off. So for now, here I am. Hi Trudy, thanks for sharing. Hi Nick and Barb. Oh, Trudy. Is VA Virginia? I'm thinking so. Hi Diane. This Canadian girl does not know all her states. Okay, so my name is Marianne Cowan. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ottawa, Canada. And I come live from my studio to inspire you to get into your craft room and create some cards to send to people. It's nice making cards, but it's even better when you send them to people, especially during COVID when a lot of people are still in lockdown. Okay, yes, I was right. I have been to Virginia. Okay, just a couple of things before we get started. And I think the cards today are going to be pretty. So, don't forget if you want to sign up for my Springtime Joy class, if you're in Canada, because I can only ship in Canada, you do receive the stamp set and this pack of ribbon, which you will use in the projects. You do need the stamp set for the projects. And it is 3 cards and 3 matching treat holders. So here's a sample of one of them. So here's the card and this is the treat holder. I know they're not the same color, but they will be mint mackinac. So that's a sample of one. And you can double the amount and do 6 cards and 6 treat holders if you choose that option. Information available on my blog, mariannecowan.com. And I also have some other classes coming up. Spring Stamp Camp is April the 10th. That's always a fun day of stamping. We do 14 cards and a 3D project. And I always include lots of extra little goodies. Hi Sylvia. So all the information is on my blog, mariannecowan.com, under events. My other March classes are Dragonfly Garden, which is the 13th. Springtime Joy is March 20th. And Masculine Cards is March 27th. So all this week we are going to be focusing on Butterfly Bouquet because it's available to customers starting tomorrow. This is a beautiful set. When I first saw it, I actually didn't think I needed it. And then I saw some projects online. So I was going to order just the paper. And then I thought, no. When I saw what the dies do, I needed the whole set. And I'm glad I did. When you buy the bundle, you get 10% off because it is it's actually an early release from the next catalog, the stamp set and the dies. The paper, however, is only available while quantities last or until May the 3rd. I'm thinking it's going to sell out because it's incredible, the paper. And you would want to get the paper because it matches, there's one sheet that matches this die in particular. And so the paper comes in a 6x6 pack. There are 8 of each design, which I love, 8 of 6 designs. Because when you're doing card classes, that actually helps. And the front and the back of the paper are spectacular. This particular sheet coordinates with this big, huge die and beautifully cuts out 6 butterflies at once. So I love having a whole little stash of things that I can just create with. So obviously I loved that. And don't discard these little ones on the edge, because I'll show you how I'm going to use those inside my cards today. So there's the first one, front and back. There's the second one, front and back. There's the third one, front and back. We're going to use this one today. This one is really pretty, front and back. And it coordinates with quite a few different colors. And we're actually using this one today, and I actually fussy cut out some of these little butterflies. So pretty. And then the other coordinating paper is this birch-like paper, and you can actually see that it's got some texture, some wood grain in it. I have used it. I used the wood plank embossing folder, and it was really cool. So that paper is available too. It's a 2-sheet pack. This one's a 48-sheet pack. Then the stamp set, I haven't used it yet. It's one big stamp. Crazy. So it's a detailed stamp. And again, it coordinates with this big, huge die. So when you stamp it out, then you can die cut it out. And I've seen it stamped, the images stamped on the backs of some of these papers. Like here, wouldn't that be pretty? Except I don't know if I could do that, because then you'd miss all these. Just got to get 2 packs, I guess. And then it also has intricate dies for each of the same butterflies. It's so well coordinated, it's crazy. So I've been doing a lot of these with vellum, and they're really pretty. And they die cut very nicely. So that's that. The other thing we're using today, because I'll forget to tell you, potted succulents, we're using this little die. And the greeting is from the Artistry Flowers. Hey Phyllis. Hi Cindy. And then we're using hydrangea dies, the flower, and this, stem and leaves. Just in case I forget to tell you. All right, so let's get started. Maybe we'll start with that card first. All right, so we have Highland Heather, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, or I just folded in half. Rococo Rose. Now I did go back and change all these measurements. So 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I didn't have this layer at first, but then I just had this. I just felt like it needed something else, so I added this layer to pull out this flower's color, because that's our focal flower. So, and am I putting, yes I am. Just thinking if I'm adding a ribbon, I'm going to add some linen thread. So this, look at how pretty that is. Rococo Rose is a retiring color. So if you have the ink pad, make sure that you have the ink pad refill. There's nothing worse than your ink pad drying out and you don't have the refill. Hello, Lynn. So I'm taking linen thread, and I want my bow to be right here at this flower, because this is our focus flower for this card. So I'm going to wrap it actually twice. Then I will cut that and do my little bow right at the flower. I could have used ribbon, but I want it to be subtle because I don't want it to be the star of the show. I want this flower to be the star of the show, and you'll see why in a minute. All right, that's good. It's not exactly as tight as I would like. Just going to try to tighten it up a little bit because I don't want this flopping around, and it's too thin to really add too much of a glue dot to. Okay, that looks good. No, that doesn't look good. Okay, just a sec, retie. It's hard to pull it too tight because you rip your paper. But I don't want it flopping around. That's better. Ah, that one's actually quite a bit better. Okay, and close enough to the stalk. No, you know me, I'm a bit fussy. There. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and glue this on. I did go ahead and put the greeting right onto the piece of cardstock. This is the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper, and I just love this one piece that you can cut into. You can get 4 pieces like this with this little scene of flowers. And I love that greeting. The world is better because of you. How pretty. I do want to add some of these. So what I also did is I took the same piece of paper. I took the flower down that was on the other part of it. I actually should have done the exact same flower so it would match perfectly, but I didn't, and it's going to be fine. What I did is I, first of all, put Wink, so I ran it through the die. Then I put Wink of Stella all over it. Then to get these little petals up, someone was asking me on one of my YouTube videos, I take my little pokey tool and I push from the back, and I find that's the best way to get them to stand up. And then I make sure that I leave some that aren't popped out so I can add some dimensionals. So those are mini dimensionals. So I'm just going to peel these off and add them to my card. So I do have these couple of sections of green, so I'm just going to put those right here. It's not an exact match, but I think it's fine. So I'm just being careful to press where I have the dimensionals. Just kind of looking at the side. You don't need a lot, it's not very big. So now I've got my bow right on my flower. I've got my greeting. So now here are the little butterflies that I cut out. Aren't they cute? So I already have put Wink of Stella on these. And I don't know about you, but my flowers in the summer have a whole bunch of butterflies come all at once. So I know the butterflies really go into the flower, but we're just going to put them like this. And I think I'm going to use rolled up glue dots, because dimensionals would be a little bit big. So I'm just rolling my glue dot, and I'll put it on the back. I just folded these, I didn't really curl them. I did have 2 other ones as well, but I think that's like a little bit overkill. Oh, maybe I could put one down there. Maybe this one. It's like if you have a butterfly garden and you go out and look at your butterfly garden, there is usually lots of butterflies at it. So I'm trying to get it kind of on the body part of the butterfly. I think I'm just going to put 3. All right, so there's our first card. The world is better because of you. So pretty. Now I do have my black matte dots, but I think they're a bit big for these little tiny guys. So I'm not going to put them on. Oh, but I am going to put on some jewels. These are the pastel pearls. And they match beautifully. Well, they were part of that suite, so it's a good thing that they match nicely. All right, so there's our first card. And you could put a little glue dot there just to make sure that doesn't move, but it looks pretty good. All right, card 1. The next card is a very simple one. So I have Bumblebee, 4 1/4 by 11. Actually didn't score it, but you could score it at 5 1/2. Sometimes your fold is nicer when you do go ahead and score it, but I didn't. I have different twines and ribbons here because I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. Then I have another piece of Bumblebee, 4 by 5 1/4, embossed with the 3D brick and mortar embossing folder. And to get these little flicks, what you do is you take your Stampin' Right marker, and it doesn't work as well with the blends. These are the regular Stampin' Right markers. Thanks, Lynn. They really are pretty. So you take the paintbrush end, and I don't know if you guys knew this. I just realized this not long ago when someone pointed it out on a video. Your Stampin' Right markers have lines at each end. A big line, thick line, and a thin line. The thin line is the small tip end. The thick line is the paintbrush end. Was I the only one that didn't know that? I don't know. So you take your paintbrush end, you take your lid, and I don't want to do it because, well, just a sec. And you make sure you put down a piece of paper. And you just flick. So you put it in just a little bit and flick. And then you get these little flecks. I'll do it just on the paper so you can see. You get these little flecks. Oh, it's going all over here. On the paper, which kind of looks cool. So that's how I did that. So let's go ahead and, do we want to go ahead? All right, so this is going here, this is going here. We have Thinking of You, and then we have our big swallowtail butterfly. I'm gonna add a little bit of curl. And I'm not adding vellum. You know me, I love to add a vellum layer, but I want the color to really stand out, because when you do add the vellum, it tones down the color a little bit. So for this one, I'm just leaving it. And I think I do want to put a little ribbon or something on. So I'm going to glue this on. That's what I was deciding. So let's put this on to this layer. Now, I brought over white baker's twine, linen thread, and our ever so popular crinkled seam binding ribbon. So he's going to be up here. My little greeting is going to be down here. So I'm thinking a little bit of ribbon and then a bow right here. I don't know which one. I don't know. Let's try crinkled. It might be too much, is what I'm thinking. This card is not a fancy card, I would say. Well, we can try the crinkled, and if we don't like it, we can take it off. Okay, so I know I want my greeting about here, so I want my bow about here. And I didn't color it because if I was going to add a ribbon, I want it to be white to pull out the white in the other things. All right, that's good. Making sure it's straight. It's easier to straighten it before you tie your bow. All right. And I want this bow to kind of be straight on, I think. Depending on which way you want your bow to land, if you want it sideways, is how you tie it. You tie it different based on how you want it to look. And I have glue on my fingers. And then you would just adjust it, and you can always put a glue dot to make it look nice. I want to make sure I have room. I want it down a little bit lower, I think. There. And let's go ahead and put this on with dimensionals. Is anyone else in their craft room today? Here in Ottawa, it is uber windy. I'm wondering if there'll be trees down in the back. And they said chance of snow squalls this afternoon, but I don't know. It's right, it's nice and sunny out now. I had to close the blind. So you could put a little glue dot to hold that down. I'm just going to add this now. I did not add Wink of Stella to this guy yet, so let's just add a bit. And we'll definitely add some black matte dots down the body. I think I need a new Wink of Stella. Oh no, there's still some. All right, so for this guy, he's pretty big, so I feel confident putting some glue dots down his back. I'm gonna use these little ones. You could also use a little strip. This is what I like to use my little edge pieces for. All right. Oh, we have to add this to the card. Does anyone already have these products and they're already playing with them? Okay, now I was going to add some black matte dots, is what they're called. I think I'm just going to add 2. No, I think I'll add another big one. 2 to the butterfly, and then I'm going to put 2 littler ones up here. There we go. Thinking of you. That'd be a nice card to send someone right about now. All right, so that's our second card. We usually make 3 cards. Sometimes we make 2 if they're a little more complicated. But today we are making 3. So for the first card, it's this sheet of paper that I fussy cut some of the little butterflies out of, just in case you were wondering. All right, the last one is featuring, mint macaron. So 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Just jade. Mint macaron. So 4 by 5 1/4. 3 3/4 by 5. And these 2 we want to put together, and then we want to put, I think, a white ribbon on this one. We might make it up first and then see what we want to add. So I will be doing butterfly cards all week, and as you know, Friday is Fun Fold Friday. So we'll be adding some fun folds. Next I have 2 of the daisy punched out in white. I like to double them up to make them look a little fuller. I have a little 1/2 inch circle in So Saffron to add to the middle. Then I have just the bottom part of the hydrangea flower. It actually is the whole flower die. I just put it at the edge and cut out the leaves. Just trying to get the glue off my fingers. And I just happened to have a little piece in my stash of Just Jade that had been embossed with Tasteful Textiles. So I just left it because it was kind of cool. So we do want this fairly close to the edge, I think. And we have our butterfly that's going to be coming to the flower. Now, I have 2 butterflies. So they're punched out, so they're exactly the same. I'm going to glue them together and hopefully remember to put Wink of Stella on. So I'm just gluing these two together. I want to give it a 3D effect. Okay, so this is going to be the top, so let's go ahead and put our Wink of Stella. The Wink of Stella just makes it so pretty. All right, I'm not doing this because I just want to check something out. So when you do like this, now when you fold it up, you can see both sides of the wings. And the butterfly is going to be flying into the flower. And and then I have my sentiment, happy birthday. So I'm thinking I'm going to put twine and have it end up right here with a bow. That's what I was just trying to decide if I wanted to do or not. And the answer is yes. When I create these videos, I have an idea in mind, but I haven't made the card yet. I'm going to pop up the flower. Oh, let's do some curling. Of all the sides, except I'm going to keep this side a little bit flat because that's where the butterfly is going to go. All right, now we haven't glued this on yet, so let's take our linen thread, and I want the bow to be on the flower stem. So I'm guessing how much. Now I want to make sure it's straight. And hopefully I can tie the bow a little more successfully this time. So I'm just making sure. It's easier when you flip it to the back to see if everything's lined up. I know it's on top of this little leaf, but I think it'll still look okay. All right. I do want it over just a little bit. So it's right on the stalk. And I am going to glue dot that down because I'm pretty sure it's going to move. So I'm kind of squishing the glue dot in here. And then you can put your little strings wherever you want them as well. Then our sentiment, maybe we'll put it over here. I'm going to pop that up as well. Yeah, wasn't sure if the big dimensionals would be too big, but they seem fine. These cards are inspiring me that spring will be here sooner than later. So I don't know about you, but I'm ready to move on. Okay, we're going to put that on in a second. Let's go ahead and add our base, our top layer to the base of our card. And I did keep the colors all very monotone so that the butterfly is what stands out. So I am going to pop him up, and I am going to use an edge, I think. So I like using these edges. So he's going to go right like that. I don't know how these got bent as opposed to... So let's add maybe the littler, let's see. Yeah, I think maybe the littler matte black dots. Yeah, that's good. Again, I'm just going to add 2. You could go all the way down, but I don't really think that's necessary. And then I'm going to add 2 more. All right. Now the other thing I'm going to do with this card is I do have an insert to put inside. And remember I said to not throw away those little butterflies that were on the outside of the paper, these ones. So I fussy cut it out, and we're going to put it, no, that's upside down. We're going to put it up here. So it just adds a little bit to the inside of the card instead of throwing those out. You could also use these small pieces to punch out little butterflies. We do have a butterfly punch that has a big butterfly and a little butterfly. All right, and we're just going to tuck this inside. There. So when you open it up, you have that little hint of a butterfly. Yeah, I did glue that down. Okay, so those are our 3 cards for today. So our first one was using the hydrangea paper. Thanks, Cindy. And I fussy cut these little butterflies out, and then we added the 3D hydrangea blossom to give it a focal point. Then for the second one, we used bumblebee and this big swallowtail as the feature. And it does look like a monarch, but I'm pretty sure it's a swallowtail. And we added just a little hint of the designer series paper and then the brick wall layer. And then for the third one, we used mint macaron and just jade. I probably would have put him a little further out actually, but I'm not going to mess with him now. And we used the leaf from the hydrangea dies and the daisy punch. And then some linen thread. All right, so those are the cards for today. Just making sure I'm in. Yeah, that looks good. So that adds to our collection. This is the one we made last night. Well, we made a bunch, but this is the one that had the most of the butterfly on it. Sorry for your loss. And then these are the ones we made on Fun Fold Friday. Again, I've used that little piece in there. And here you can see I did the vellum over top of all of these cards actually. I like vellum, can you tell? And then one more, this one. So again, I used that extra little one that was along the edge, and it just adds a nice little element. And I don't know why this one's falling off the edge. There. So those are our cards for today, and we'll continue tomorrow with 3 more cards using the Butterfly Bouquet products. And just a reminder that as of tomorrow, you can order the Butterfly Bouquet products. If you order from me using this host code, then you will receive, if you're in Canada, you will, obviously, because you have to be in Canada to order from me, you will receive a card class from me to make 3 additional designs, so 6 cards, free of charge. And they will be different ones that we haven't made this week. So you'll have all the ideas from this week, and then I'll send you a card kit with 6 more cards, 3 designs. So it's available tomorrow. There is one code that has the whole collection. So it's the stamp set, the dies, the butterfly bijou paper, and then the natural touch specialty paper in birch color. So that's one code, or you can order things separately. So I hope today inspired you to realize that you absolutely need this new butterfly set. Like I said, I didn't think I needed another butterfly set until I saw these beautiful butterflies. And it's just so cool that you can take that one die and cut out 6 butterflies at a time. And they're really, really pretty. All right, Ooh. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it if you like or share my video. And if you're watching on Facebook, you can hit the notification button and like my page to be notified when I go live. If you are watching the replay on YouTube, I do invite you to subscribe to my channel and to hit the little bell, and then you will be notified when I upload a new video. All right, everyone, thank you. Stay safe. Like I said, it's windy out there, and they said chance of snow squalls, but I don't really know what that means. Well, I know what it means, but if I look outside right now, it's beautiful and sunny. However, very windy. Okay, enjoy your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.